You're going to spend roughly 90,000 hours of your life working. That's not a metaphor, that's the actual math. If you start at 22 and retire at 65, working 40 hours a week, it comes out to about 90,000 hours. Now, what did you get for them? I don't mean your salary, I mean what did your life actually look like in exchange for giving away that time? Because most people, and I mean the majority of working adults in the US and Europe, never actually answer that question. They just keep going, month after month, year after year, earning and spending and recovering and doing it again. And one day, they realize the treadmill was never going to stop on its own. This video is about one idea, one shift in how you think about money and time. It won't make you rich overnight. It's not supposed to. But if you actually apply it, it will change how every financial decision feels for the rest of your life. Give me 12 minutes. Let's talk about someone I'll call Marcus. He's 31, lives in a mid-size European city. Could be Brussels, could be Leeds, could be Cologne. He earns 40,000 euros a year, solid income. By most standards, he's doing fine. But Marcus is always slightly broke. Not desperately broke. He pays his bills. He goes out. He has a streaming service and a gym membership and a coffee every morning. But at the end of every month, there's almost nothing left, and he can't figure out why. So he tells himself, the problem is income. He works harder, gets a raise, 44,000 euros now. Within 4 months, still nothing left. Just a slightly nicer version of the same feeling. The problem was never his income. The problem was that he had no real picture of what his money was actually costing him. Marcus's story isn't unusual. Studies in the UK, Germany, France, and the US consistently show the same pattern. People at middle income levels feel financially stuck regardless of how much they earn. Something structural is broken, and it starts with a question nobody asks. Here's the idea. Every dollar or euro you spend didn't just cost you money, it cost you time. Specifically, the amount of time it took you to earn that money after everything else is accounted for. And almost no one has ever calculated what that time is actually worth. Let's do Marcus's numbers properly. He earns 40,000 euros gross. After tax and social contributions, he takes home about 2,500 euros a month. He officially works 40 hours a week, but add 50 minutes of commuting each day. The 20 minutes every morning getting ready specifically for work. The hour of low-grade recovery time each evening where he's technically home, but mentally still at work. That's closer to 52 or 53 real job-related hours each week. Now the job-related spending. Work clothes, morning coffees, not the ones he enjoys, the ones he needs. Lunch is bought because he's too depleted to pack one. The gym membership he got because sitting for 9 hours was destroying his back. The weekend delivery orders because cooking feels impossible after a full week. Subtract all of that, let's say 320 euros a month, from his take-home. He's left with about 2,180 euros of actually free money. Now divide 2,180 euros by 53 hours a week, multiplied by 4.3 weeks. His real hourly rate isn't 19 euros. It's closer to 9 euros and 50 cents. That's not a judgment. It's just math most people never run. But once you know that number, the way you see spending changes completely. That 110 euro jacket isn't 110 euros. It's about 11.5 hours of your actual life. That 55 euro dinner you barely remember. Nearly 6 hours. The 380 euros you spent on a weekend away that you put on a credit card. 40 hours. You're not spending money. You're spending time. And unlike money, time doesn't come back. The question isn't whether spending is bad. The question is simply, was it worth the hours? Sometimes the answer is absolutely yes. The dinner with your family, worth it. The trip you saved for, worth it. The fourth streaming service you forgot you subscribed to, probably not. There's a second piece to this, and it explains why Marcus's raise didn't help. There's a pattern in human psychology that researchers call the hedonic treadmill. The idea is simple. We adapt to whatever we have. Get a raise, feel great for about 6 weeks. Then the new salary becomes the baseline and you feel exactly as before. Get a bigger apartment, wonderful for a couple of months. Then it's just where you live. Buy the nicer car, satisfying for a season. Then it's just how you get to work. We keep upgrading our lives, but we don't feel richer. We just feel like we need more. And the advertising industry, worth trillions of dollars, is built entirely on keeping that cycle spinning. Every platform you use is designed to show you what the next upgrade looks like. Not because it will make you happy, because it will make someone else money. The result is that most people in modern consumer economies have never actually defined what enough looks like for them personally. Not in a philosophical way, just practically. How much do I actually need to spend each month to live a life I find genuinely satisfying, without the parts I'm doing out of stress, habit, or comparison? Most people don't have an answer, so the number keeps growing, shaped by defaults, not decisions. And here's why that matters financially. The gap between what you spend and what you actually need to spend. That gap is your leverage. That's where financial independence actually lives. So what do you actually do with this? 3 moves, none of them complicated, all of them requiring honesty. Move 1. Calculate your real hourly rate. Take your actual monthly take-home. Subtract everything you spend because of your job, commuting, work clothing, stress relief purchases, anything that exists primarily because you work. Divide by the real hours your job consumes, including everything around it. Write the number down. That's the true cost of 1 hour of your life. Move 2. Track 1 month and convert everything to hours. Don't judge it. Just see it. Every category of spending, groceries, eating out, subscriptions, clothing, entertainment, impulse buys, convert each one to hours using your real rate. What most people find is 2 things. First, some spending is completely, obviously worth it. It maps directly to what they value. No problem there. Second, there's a cluster of spending that surprises them. Not huge individually, but significant together. Things bought from stress, from habit, from boredom, not genuine desire. Move 3. Define your actual number. What would your monthly expenses look like if you kept everything you genuinely value and removed everything driven by habit, pressure, or autopilot? That number is your real enough. If your monthly expenses are $2,800, financial independence, where your investment income covers your life, requires roughly $840,000 invested, at a conservative 4% withdrawal rate. But if your real enough is $1,900 a month, you need $570,000. That's $270,000 less you need to accumulate. At a reasonable savings rate, that could be 8 to 10 years off your working timeline. Not retiring to a beach, just reaching the point where work is a choice, not a requirement. The lever isn't a bigger salary. The lever is clarity. I want to be precise about what this isn't. This is not an argument for extreme frugality. It's not saying that wanting nice things is wrong. It's not telling you to stop spending on the things you enjoy. It's saying something much more specific. Most people trade their time for money, then spend that money to recover from the experience of trading their time, and call that a life. And they never ask whether the deal was actually good. The people who get this right, and it's not about income level, it genuinely cuts across earners, tend to share the same habits. They know what their time is actually worth. They know what they actually need to live well, and they've made those two things talk to each other. Marcus ran these numbers 7 months ago. He didn't quit his job. He didn't move somewhere cheaper and grow vegetables. He cancelled €85 a month in subscriptions he'd genuinely forgotten about. He stopped buying lunch every day out of habit, started bringing it 3 days a week. He sold the car he was barely using and switched to a bike and occasional car share, saving €390 a month. He kept everything he actually valued: the dinners out, the one holiday a year, the gym he genuinely uses and likes. He's now saving and investing €580 more a month than he was a year ago, without earning a single euro more. Not because someone told him to sacrifice, but because for the first time he could actually see the cost of what he was buying. So here's what I'd leave you with. You probably already know the rules. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference. Stay out of high-interest debt. Knowing those things hasn't changed your situation, because information was never really the problem. The problem is that most of us are operating with invisible price tags on everything we buy, and those tags are denominated in hours, not dollars. When you start seeing it that way, something shifts. Not dramatically, not overnight, but the next time you're about to buy something out of stress, habit, or just because it's a Tuesday and you're tired, you'll feel a small question form. How many hours is this actually? And is it worth them? That question, asked consistently and honestly, will do more for your financial life than any productivity app, any side hustle, any salary increase. Try it for 1 month. Track everything. Convert it to hours. See what the picture looks like. I think it'll surprise you. If this was useful, subscribe. Next week's video is about why investing feels emotionally impossible for most people, even when they know they should be doing it. That's one I've wanted to make for a while. See you there.